we got some new leaked info on Need for Speed 2022. Leaks, rumors, unconfirmed reports, whatever you want to call it. This comes from Jeff Grubb, who is a well-known insider in the industry, and he has made some claims as to where the game is located and that it will have anime styling elements, all of which I am going to cover in this video. But if you are interested in staying up to date on all things Need for Speed 2022, then maybe think about subscribing so you don't miss any news. First, I want to mention that previously Jeff had stated that the new Need for Speed would be next-gen only, and that it is supposedly set for a November 2022 launch, and that it would be set in Miami. But that was where Heat was just set, so that didn't really make much sense, and he has since updated that to say that it will take place in a fictional city called Lakeshore City based on Chicago. I don't really know how I feel about Chicago yet, but I think it could be an interesting location for sure, and it has a lot of potential. And I think the city itself lends itself to kind of the Need for Speed vibes, but I'm more curious on how they're kind of gonna do the outskirts of the city, because one of the things we all love are those twisty, hilly roads, but there's a lot of opportunity there with it being located on the Great Lakes, and it's kind of a new, unique location for Need for Speed since it seems like we're usually in Florida or California, but I'm sure they'll be able to incorporate the kind of twisty roads that we like into there, and there should be a lot of opportunity for like warehouse districts, things like that. So while it's going to be based on Chicago, I don't know that the city itself is that important as them just nailing the different aspects of the map that we all want, which they could do, you know, most places. So as long as they get the kind of Need for Speed vibes, a good Need for Speed map, it really doesn't matter. Then there is the next gen only rumor, which is about a week old at this point, and I think that would definitely be a bummer for everyone who has not upgraded to next gen yet, or I guess current gen now, but it will allow Criterion to make the best game possible because they won't be held back by the older technology. So personally, I think it's a good thing, but I can totally imagine there are people who don't feel that way, and I get it. Now, if you do have an older console, specifically Xbox One and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you can get around this because Game Pass allows you to stream games running on Xbox Series X to your older hardware. For example, if you have an Xbox One and Xbox Game Pass, you can stream the Xbox Series X version of that game to your Xbox One. And I think PlayStation might have something similar as well. So you won't be completely shut out. And overall, I do think it's the right choice to make it next gen only. I mean, we're a couple years into the new hardware at this point, and it does seem like stock is starting to get easier to find of the new consoles, so it makes sense. But back to the supposed style of Need for Speed 2022. According to Jeff, it is going to be photorealistic but have anime elements to it. So this comes from the VGC article. Jeff was talking about this on his podcast. I'll leave a link to the article down below, but I wouldn't read too much into this yet, but it is an interesting idea. I mean, the early gameplay leak we got a few years ago that Black Panther had, and I mean, this was early gameplay. It definitely did have some anime looking elements in like the tire smoke, the exhaust flames, there was like wind lines. So pairing that with photorealistic cars could be cool, and it's you know, a definite possibility, but I think it's more likely we kind of end up seeing those elements in the story mode, like cutscenes of the game, as like an anime version of Chicago doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That seems like they'd be going for more like a gritty, realistic city element, so I don't know how anime would play into that, but let's say they have like anime characters or like a storyboard with anime elements. You know, there's a lot of different directions they can go, whether that's full anime style cutscenes, the storyboard comic type like I just mentioned, or maybe just, you know, keeping with that subtle anime styling on the kind of effects to the car. We shall have to see, but let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Now, obviously, we haven't got a Need for Speed game since Heat in 2019, which was a great, if flawed, game that was really lacking on post-launch support and really didn't have a whole lot to offer online, but the base of Heat was a great game. It just needed a bit more love. So Criterion has got a lot to get right to feed a very large and very hungry Need for Speed fan base, and I think swinging for the fences for something like this quote-unquote anime style could work really well to reinvigorate the franchise, or if they get it wrong, it could absolutely blow up in their faces. But if they can nail the things we most care about, like the gameplay, the handling, the cars, the customization, and a good story that we've come to love in Need for Speed, then the stuff like the map and the style should fall nicely into place. Now, that's a big if, and it remains to be seen how much of the anime styling elements they do add to the game, but if they can give us a good story that's fun to play, then I got no complaints. Thanks for watching. Think about subscribing to stay up to date on all things Need for Speed. Stay classy.